After the election, Disney was very excited because the ladies of The View were enjoying ratings that few had ever seen before. But it turns out people were just tuning in to see them go crazy and lose their minds. Now The View is in trouble. May it be canceled yet? We shall see, but viewings are dropping, and the bottom of the barrel may have not yet been met. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. We are so overjoyed to have you here with us, and we are hoping truly that you are enjoying your holiday break. If you are getting to celebrate Thanksgiving, we hope you're having fun with your family. And folks, if you're not, remember, brighter days can be ahead. Keep forging forward. The ladies of The View, that's what they're going to have to remind themselves because, well, nobody's watching them anymore, at least relative to what was happening after the election. I don't know how it must feel to know that people are tuning in just to watch you be in misery, but that was the effect, the phenomenon that they were apparently experiencing. Folks will bring on a panel to discuss whether or not The View has disgusted their viewers to the point they don't have anybody, they don't have any ratings, and maybe no advertisers. We'll get started. You click the like button. Here we go. By the way, folks, let's get to something that's booping the industry, and that is, as we continue to talk about the wins of the new media, the legacy dinosaurs are struggling. They are quickly going extinct, and we'll start with this. Not something you would typically look at, but I want to take a look at The Price is Right. This is strange, right? Well, it's because we are examining the decline in daytime viewership for the networks. Take a look at The Price is Right, though. Although it has seen a decline, and we're going all the way back to 2022, although it has seen a slight decline, and please ignore the last week because it's not fully counting the entire week, plus it's a holiday week, which, by the way, if you're looking for similar drops, you'd have to go back to September 5th, when I believe, of 2023, when they may actually not have been running it for other reasons. But The Price is Right has seen a very gradual decline. That's what we've been seeing with shows during daytime. But, well, one company seems to be struggling more than others when it comes to daytime. Which one are we talking about? Well, if we go over to Daily Caller, yep, it's The View. Disney is having a very hard time because after the election, The View suddenly had a surge of viewership, and that ship has sailed. People are done with Schadenfreude, and they are leaving. They are done. They are over it. We'd like to examine why. It turns out that the brains of the ladies on The View bounce around more than the chips on Plinko. The candidate is Joe Biden. Here are just a few predictions The View co-host got terribly wrong in 2024. Yes, it's a greatest hits of the reason that Disney is taking hits in daytime television. Folks, we're going to play clips. We'll read the headlines, and then we'll play the clip for you, and you can see just how wacky, zany, and crazy the ladies are. First, The View co-host Joy Behar says that J.D. Vance supports women staying in violent relationships. Here's Joy.
The question is now, will MAGA Republicans accept him as VP? And is this pick going to sway any undecided voters?
May I speak?
Sure, Joy.
I like you raised your hand.
I think this is a very good choice for the Democrats. This is good news for the Democrats, in my opinion. Maybe you agree with that.
I do.
Because
It was a great year for them.
he's a carbon copy of Trump.
Yeah.
So what new voters is he going to bring in?
Point.
Not the suburban mom, not the girl who needs an abortion, not the gay people who want to retain their rights, not people who support Ukraine. So what exactly did he accomplish? And by the way,
Let's play one more while we're going through these.
That's beautiful. That is so much projection on their parts. That's what they want the narrative to be, not what the narrative actually was.
Isn't it wonderful? Whoopi Goldberg claimed that Biden could throw every Republican in jail because of the SCOTUS immunity ruling. Let's hear what else they were saying that has driven away the audiences from the Disney daytime talk show.
Well, the Supreme Court won't hear oral arguments until the end of April. Now, let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
what?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail Yeah. I mean, he could. I mean, no. This is not a good thing. Because he'd have he can go.
Erica, do you think maybe people are being ill-served if they're coming to The View for a daily dose of reality?
Ill-served, that's an understatement. It's hard watching this trash. I don't understand how people watch it and buy into it hook, line, and sinker. It's just so over the top ridiculous.
Hook, line, and stinker, I believe is what we call it.
Propaganda that they spew. I mean,
But again, let's remember,
really restrain here.
This is Disney. These are Disney spokespeople, essentially. They are on the Disney dole. Ron, Sonny Hostin said that there would be no other candidate besides Joe Biden. You ready for this one, Ron?
I've got my bucket over here to the side for when I spew.
Get your thoughts ready, Ron. We're coming to you. Here we go.
There isn't going to be another candidate. No. Yeah. The candidate is Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He has run this country well. He has so much to run on. He's got better economy. Inflation is down. Job growth, more job growth than any other president in the past couple of decades.
His infrastructure bill.
Wait, jobs. So he has a platform to run on. The Republicans have zero to run on. And the best candidate that the Republicans could come up with is Donald Trump.
Ron, he's sharp as attack. Sharp as attack, and I bet Sonny's earpiece goes straight to Karine. What do you say?
2 minutes later, Kamala is running and Biden's out of the race. Right? I mean, this is so funny. This when you look back at these things, and by the way, I believe Bill O'Reilly predicted it in November of 2023 that Biden would be out, and of course, it was fairly obvious. The bait and switch was happening. Anybody who had common sense knew that it was a bait and switch when it did happen. And I mean, wait a second, he can't run, but he can still remain president. I mean, how does none of that, by the way, made any sense? And it is not surprising to see Sonny Hostin over and over and over and over and over and over and over again have to read those corrections on the air of the things that she misspoke about. I would never watch The View. I would never see The View if it weren't for these, clips like this. The funny thing is, when The View first came on, and I don't know how many years ago, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, when Barbara Walters was running it. I liked Barbara Walters. She was fun to watch. Back in the day, I used to enjoy her one-on-one interviews. But I mean, it's just so skewed now. And you wonder, is there a producer of the show saying, you guys all need to stay as far to the left as possible? Like, it's mind-boggling. I don't like Erica said before, I don't know if these are the real thoughts of these people, or are they trying to play to a particular audience, or it's very, very mind-boggling to me, especially with a Disney-owned company, because Disney is supposed to be a center of the road family company that basically just, in general, look at fairy tales and things like that. You have a hero, you have a villain, you have right versus wrong. That's not happening with this company anymore. And that's certainly not happening with The View, because it seems like everything that The View, all of their takes are completely wrong. I don't know how anybody watches the show. I really don't.
Well, not that many people are, because The View was already in trouble. Then the election happened. And then it had this huge, just dramatic increase in viewership. And we've covered this before. The dinosaur media was all declaring, oh, The View is back. People are tuning to The View for the truth. And it's like, no, they're there to laugh at you. And so here we have, this is out of IMDb. The View has shed all of its post-election ratings. It's back down to normal, and normal was not good. Normal is not good. You got to look at it this way. Is The View, with its ratings numbers, which are about 3 million on average, okay? About 3 million. And that's fine. For a network, that's fine. The problem is, how much damage does it do to you when the people are crazy on The View, and when the people watching it walk away with a lesser view of reality, And when the advertisers, and I think this is what they have to watch out at Disney for, is that in 2025, which advertisers really want to be attached to The View anymore? I don't know, panel, what say you?
I would say probably antidepressant companies.
Pfizer.
Yeah, there is a market here. Weight loss things, generic things. There is such thing as not necessarily respecting your audience and trying to advertise things for people that fit a specific mind frame here. There is a reason that some things on the other end go heavily for crypto schemes and things like that. There is still someone that could be appealed to in a place like this, but I don't think a person who is not predatory in their advertising practices would want to have their name attached to this kind of insanity. Jerry Springer had advertisers back in the day, and there's obviously that had entertainment value in a different way for different segments of the audience, but advertisers will go where the eyeballs are, and there are sometimes eyeballs for just pure insanity,
for train wrecks.
I think at this point it's also it's a legal thing about advertisers, because who wants to advertise on a show that every 10 seconds old Sunny Day over there has to stop and be like and read a legal notice? I mean, you're attaching you're basically opening yourself up to potential litigation at that point, because this woman is a loose cannon. She spouts off illegal libel nonsense constantly and has to then retract it. So why would you want your brand associated with a show that constantly has to check itself?
It's a great question. Panel, other thoughts on The View and the fact that advertisers might not want to play ball with them in 2025?
I have a feeling that Disney's not going to want to play ball with them much longer. I don't think this show, as currently constructed and casted, is going to exist for very long through 2025. I think Disney is already losing its handles on any kind of daytime television. And this is kind of one of the things that they had that was somewhat of a success when they were able to control the narrative. Now that, the narrative has been completely destroyed and replaced with truth, largely by citizen journalists, much like yourself, Pro, and obviously Jonas and Marvin, and Vash, of course. And Ron and Erica to a certain extent, although she gives us a lot of really neat stuff from where she is, so she's got her own narrative. But when you look at the way these things are being done now, with citizen journalism leading the way, especially on the events of what occurred on Bourbon Street and in Vegas recently, and so et cetera, I think people are going to be more engaged in the networks and the shows that actually follow the truth and actually do some investigation and actually are up in front of recent events, so that they're not in a position where Sunny, who's a lawyer, by the way, has to read a legal note because she said something stupid or libelous. So I think Disney and ABC are going to walk away from this kind of entertainment, and I guarantee you that the advertisers are. And for as long as there are companies that do produce ads for antidepressants and things like that, which I think will be stopped pretty quickly in the new administration, there won't be a lot out there.
I always like hard data. Yeah. And it's how I figure out what's really going on in the industry, and we find ways where hard data percolates up to the surface where the public can know about it. And I was talking about ratings, right? I was telling you about, and I showed you the IMDb thing, but I'm always wary about ratings. We report on them and we believe in them from Nielsen and from Illuminate and all of that. But I also know that those can be swayed to some degree. You know what can't be, though? YouTube viewership. And what have we been talking about? The new media. Streaming is where it's at. So how's The View doing in streaming? How's the View doing on YouTube? Because then that might give me some sort of correlation with the demo. And the demo, of course, is the 22 or 25 to 55 crowd, who largely have switched over to the new media, which is YouTube, X, etc. Well, funny I should ask. I've got the data right here. Take a look. When I say that advertisers might be worried about The View, when I say that the audience might be leaving The View, here's the hard data. Out of Social Blade, D-, the score currently for The View. How are they doing? Well, The View is garnering 4.3 million views per month. That's down 114%. The View is getting 4.3 million views per month. They're also down 67% in subscribers for the last 31 days. So if we want to look at hard data where we can find it, it seems to me that The View is not looking good from my view, from my vantage point, and this is catastrophically bad to be down. I mean, I know that the election is a big time, but The View is not entirely, or it should not be entirely about politics. It's supposed to be a place to host celebrities and talk about, what's going on in the world, but not necessarily so intrinsically involved in politics to such a degree that you can't find people to see your show once the election is over. This kind of drop is bonkers.
Well, this to me, going back to the cable and broadcast conversation here, this says to me that they have lost the newer segment of the audience altogether. So the younger people are on YouTube. And when I say younger, I mean the younger section. I don't mean that there are people who you would not define as young that are watching most of their content on YouTube. So I'm just saying there's that one section of the audience that is only going to be on broadcast and cable. And if anyone is watching The View, they're on broadcast and cable. So if they've lost new media entirely, and the only subject on new media that's talking about The View is mocking it, well, then this is a autopilot show like Saturday Night Live.
Absolutely. So there you go, folks. The View. The View is getting lesser views than many of the channels you love, and being beaten by places like Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, so many more. The View, on legacy media, when you have it face off against the new media on YouTube and the places where the fighting is fair, nobody's checking out The View. And that's where the advertisers are not few. That's where you want to be. The new media is you, and it's here, and it's now. The View, somehow, not so much. This baby to bed, this video is over. Turn off the lights, but not quite yet, folks, because we do ask one final thing before we say goodbye, and that is, would you consider clicking the like button? Share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Also greatly appreciated, anytime you would like to share this out on your favorite social media platforms, well, we would love that. And we'd also love to hear your thoughts. Folks, drop a comment down below and use that beautiful mind of yours. If you would not mind, we'd love to know what you're thinking. Also, if you would like to become a member of the channel, it's as simple as clicking the join button. It is the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of new, cool, exclusive information. Folks, until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.